Good morning. It's the next day, and I'm going to put this on my bandsaw and cut those pins flush with the wood, and then I'm going to put it on my belt grinder, grind all the excess glue off, and make the sides flat. Then put it on my router and knock the edges off, and start hand sanding. So let me get this started. All right, now we go over to the router, and we put some. We knock these square edges off, and then it's all hand sanding after that. Okay, this is going to be loud. First, I do not have any safety equipment protecting my hands from this sharp little finger taker right here. So kids, don't try this at home. This is just me being foolish. It's going to be very noisy, and I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see because it might vibrate the table that you're sitting on. So let's just see. Actually, I'm going to lower this a little bit. Give me just a second. I think that'll do it. All right, here's the noise. put this back on my belt sander, and I'm going to sand past these little edges here. It's really a thick handle. And it's thick because this is really thick. This is a 1/4 inch thick here. All right, let me do a little tweaking on my belt sander, and then we'll go back to hand sanding. This is 180, and that's what I generally start every handle with. And what I do is I sand at a diagonal like this, and that gets the scratches out of the metal that I put there using my die grinder. That die grinder, by the way, turns at 10,000 RPMs. Or is it 13? It don't matter. In the next clip, it's right, hell, it's right here. Let's just look. RPMs. I'm sure it says. Oh, 25,000 RPMs. And there's no, see, if I had spent a few more dollars, I could have got the variable speed one, which starts at 10,000 minimum. And then you have like, 17 or 20 and then 25. So, but I didn't. I got the cheap one, which makes it, number one, it makes it burn the wood if you don't keep the die grinder drum moving really quick. And it heats up the steel, so you got to do it and then stop and then do it and stop. And the reason you don't want to heat the steel up because it loosens the epoxy. Okay, here we go. I'm going to sand a little bit. And I'm going to sand out the scratches from the sanding drum on that Makita. I am still wearing slippers and my foot is still killing me, but not quite as much as it was a few days ago. So me not walking on it and wearing tight shoes seems to be helping somewhat. And thank you to all the people that told me about the home remedies. What you need is to hang a chicken foot around your neck and don't make any left turns for 2 days. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The chicken foot was my idea. All right, now I can do a little hand sanding. Now that I've got the scratches off of this, now I can start softening the sanding marks that the belt grinder put in here. And this is desert ironwood, and you go through some sandpaper on this desert ironwood. So I'm not going to bore you to tears with the entire sanding process because it's going to take me a couple of hours. I will show you how I sand the marks, the cut marks and the belt grinder marks out of these pins. I do it in a similar way. I can make these pins look like they're chrome if I sand them correctly. And I'll explain you in a little bit what I mean by correctly, because you can sure screw up a knife handle if you don't sand it correctly, and it won't come back. You can't correct it. Oh, it's already looking pretty, man. I love this desert ironwood. It is so hard to work with. It's bad to breathe. It stings your eyes. It smells bad when you're sanding it. It smells bad when you're cutting it. It dulls bandsaw blades. It dulls everything you have. But the finished product, it is such a beautiful, beautiful wood. It buffs up nice. You don't need to put anything on it, just elbow grease and the buffer. And the oil in the wood, when you put this on the buffer, it acts like a glaze and it polishes it up so pretty. And I have a pretty good bit of this stuff here. All right, I'm going to turn this on the side and I'll show you how I sand these pins. I don't know how much of this you're going to see, and if I move you anywhere, it's going to be just too shaky. So I'll explain you while I'm doing it, okay? You got to use a straight edge on these, or else here's what happened. If you sand it like this, the metal, of course, is much harder than the wood. So what you end up with is these indentations in the wood before you get to the metal. You're sanding out wood before you get to the metal at each pin. So you've got these warps or hollowed out sections. And I didn't know how to stop that or fix it until I realized that the stainless pins, you just got to sand with a backer board constantly. So here we go. I guess I should try to give you a close-up of that. Maybe I'll turn these off because it just does seem to... There we go. Now, what I'm doing with a backer board is I'm going to sand out all them grinding marks out of the pins, and there we go. I know that's kind of bright for you, but if I don't have these lights on, I can't see squat. And this handle is nice and rounded. I like the way these handles feel in your hand. It feels like a really a tool that's made just for your hands. And I make them to fit my hand, so you know I'm an average guy, so I would think that they would fit most hands, except those with little doll hands. A long way to go. Yeah, I had a copyright fight a little while ago, a few videos ago. I did a video and immediately somebody from a foreign country claimed that they own the rights to the music. And YouTube told me that they were going to share the ad revenue with this person making the copyright claim. Well, this person making the copyright claim was a name I couldn't even pronounce, one of them Middle Eastern countries. And the music, the song that he said I had copied or used was nothing I'd ever heard of. And I think it's mostly automatic with YouTube. I don't think they investigate. I think if somebody makes a copyright claim, it's automatic, which it shouldn't be. So the thing is, if you fight a copyright claim and you lose, then it affects your channel greatly. So you have to pick and choose your copyright battles. So I fought this, and the reason is, number one, I didn't monetize it. Number two, there wasn't an ounce of music in it. No whistling, no humming, no cars passing with music playing. There was no background music. There was no kind of noise that could have been mistaken for music. There wasn't a shred of music in the video. And it took 2 weeks, but I won. And you got to fight these, because this is the latest scam with YouTube, is these Middle Eastern and Pakistan and India, the same people that make the phone calls telling you that there's a warrant for your arrest if you don't pay them in Apple cards. Same people. And this is the latest scam, and YouTube hasn't fixed it yet. As these people make these copyright claims, and they get, if they do it 1,000,000 times and they get, 10 cents or 20 cents of ad revenue, that is a lot of money at the end of the year. And most people, if they have 1,000 or 2,000 videos like I do, they just let the copyright claims go, because it is so detrimental to your channel should you lose a copyright claim. So I fought this one, and I won. And I think if more people do that, this little scam will be over quick. YouTube will do something to thwart the cheaters, the liars. The larger my channel gets, the more grief it brings me. The Eric Leitners, the people that leave their opinion telling me I shouldn't have an opinion. And then, I won't talk about that. I've made my address too available and my phone number too accessible, and some of the crap I get, I guess it's just part of the deal, part of the the good with the bad, I guess you'd say. And me, I am a trusting person, which is why I got ripped off on the knife. And I'm going to continue to be the person I am. I'm not going to let that one guy who cheated me out of that knife, I'm not going to let him turn me into the person that I don't want to be. I'm going to continue to trust people, and if I occasionally get ripped off, so be it. A little bit more on that one. These stainless pins are much, much harder to sand the grind lines out of, because they're such a hard metal, much, much harder than the brass. All right, these two are done. Let me work on this one, and then I'll go back to sanding it, the whole side of it. Since desert ironwood is so hard, I try to do as much of my sanding on the belt grinder. I mean, you can't avoid hand sanding, but if you're careful, you can do a lot of your sanding on the belt grinder. But you gotta be careful, because you can screw up and take too much off really, really quick. I really need my magnifying glass to make sure I got these grind lines out. All right, we're good. Okay, now I can do a little bit of hand sanding just to get rid of my diagonal lines. And I'm not taking enough off where I'm going to put divots in front of the pins. Man, oh man, oh man, I really like this desert ironwood. And as I see it, if it's cheap, I buy it. All right, I'm gonna flip it over, do the other side of the pins, and then I'm gonna do the belly. So, I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, and I'm not gonna make you sit through the whole thing, so we'll see you in a bit. Okay, I've got this sanded up to 400. I'm gonna put it on the buffer, but first, you see that gap there? The reason that is there is because these teeth didn't get sanded down flat enough up under here. That's holding the wood away from the metal. So I'm gonna go to the house. I've got some super glue. I'm gonna fill that gap with super glue, and then I'm going to sprinkle some of this sawdust on that and see if I can't hide that gap. And then I'm gonna put it on the buffer. So let me go to the house, and I believe when I come back, I'm probably gonna have a cup of coffee and then get to working on that, and then buff it out and move into the leather shop. Alrighty. I've got some sawdust. I've got some stupid glue. Let's see what kind of mess we can make here. Put a little light on this. All right, I'm just gonna sprinkle that on there. I'm gonna give that a, well, second or two. Let it dry, and then I'm gonna sand it down. We'll see what it looks like. Man, you can't even tell I was here. I'm like a super glue ninja. I cannot believe that worked so well. All right, let's go buff this out. And you can't come with me because all those machines vibrate so bad it just makes the phone do this. And the phone can't compensate for that much vibration. The GoPro did a good job, but I don't have the GoPro with me. So let me go buff this out. Be right back and show you what we got.